Welcome to the 538 Policy Chat. The transcript below has been lightly edited. Tia. Young. The latest campaign financing statements were made by the Federal Election Commission on October 15, which gave us an idea of what the campaigns were financially from July to September. We will touch on some important Senate races later. But let's start with the GOP presidential pre-elections. This is our first look at a full quarter fundraising for many campaigns launched in middle of the second quarter. But most, since former President Donald Trump continues to be overwhelmingly ahead in polls. And as these figures are clearly seen already show signs of slowing down. Show also fundraising. What are main implications for Trump and the rest of area? Enrockich. I think main conclusion is that this is besides the tapes and approvals another data point that shows Trump's superior leadership in Republican pre-elections. He raised $24.5 million in the third quarter, which was more than double the other Republican candidates. Jeffrey. Skelly. Yes. There are very few signs that the GOP presidential pre-selections will be competitive. Nothing about these FEC reports changes this inference. Tia. Young. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is still second in polls and fundraising. Trump himself raised about $11 million, compared to $24.5 million, but continues to spend at an alarming rate. Jeffrey. Skelly. And actually the situation is worse than it seems for DeSantis. It has only $5 million in funding available in pre-selection because the rest of war chest is only available for general elections. Tia. Young. True. Trump has more than 7 times DeSantis money for the preliminary elections. And $37.5 million has $36 million. Enrockich. I have to file a criminal complaint against DeSantis. I thought the fundraising figures the second quarter were quite impressive. $20.1 million was raised in just 38 days, which would be equivalent to $48.2 million a full quarter. However, this figure was largely based on large donations, and some people at that time stated that this was a concern because donors were limited to giving a certain amount of money to campaigns each year from these people. And look, the amount of fundraising was much lower this quarter. Jeffrey. Skelly. Yes. Compared, someone like former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley did not raise so much money, but his spending rate was lower and ended at $11.6 million in the bank. About $9 million of this was available. Use in the pre-selection, a much better number than DeSantis has to work. Tia. Young. Haley competes for the second place and gained some strength after the last discussion. Do you think you're hurt to compete for the same donor base as South Carolina friend Senator Tim Scott? Is there anything looking for him here? Jeffrey. Skelly. If you think Scott's campaign doesn't actually show signs of life, I would consider it another positive for him. Now Haley has the same problem with Scott. Super PAC is complete.